Hello, this is my vlog number 6 for media literacy this week. Or this chapter, we're talking about public relations. And to be honest with you, this chapter was a little bit harder for me to understand just because I've become passionate about media literacy and how it plays into social media, and that's like a deep research topic that I eventually want to um, like hop onto one day or research myself, and something that I'm really interested in. Public relations plays a lot of role in that, but I didn't exactly know what it was until I read through the chapter, and I'm still like I have my book and notes here in front of me just to help me through it because I still this is my understanding of the chapter and just some thoughts and points that stood out to me that I think are important to note about public relations. So, starting off, the first definition of public relations that was literally used in the book was using a wide range of communication tools to strategically influence public thought and build goodwill on behalf of a person, business, political party, or ideology. Public relations, you hear this a lot, and I've heard about it a lot, but I never exactly knew what it was. And it's quite literally like how newspapers, magazines, social networks, anything influence the public thought, and immediately it says strategists often look more to get a message out to larger numbers of people without buying space for a company's banner. Crafting a message begins with research, gathering information about an issue, individual, group, or organization. And that's something I think is really cool to note because obviously we've talked about it in class before. Crafting a message begins with research. And unless you're doing valid, thorough research, it's not honest and it's not productive. And you can't get an accurate message out there. And to go with that, on page 98 in chapter 6, it says a public relations professional considers her work well done when she sees that key ideas or even exact wording from a news conference or press release on an important newspaper's website, or when she sees her video news release running unedited on the evening news, meaning that it's all accurate information, all honest information. No editing was done to have to manipulate it to get it to the public eye for the people to want to view it, or people viewing it. Analyzing public relations messages is critical, argue that journalists because of PR's impact on democracy. If a message doesn't contain a full range of information, if some details are left out, it can't be considered honest, like I was saying before. So public relations plays a huge part on businesses, everything that we put out into the media. Media critics or public relations professional, like it talks about journalists, they all rely on public relations to get their information out there. And it's hard to do that, or would be really hard to do that if it's not honest. Yeah, so I didn't realize how much public relations played a role on like everything that we put out into the media, because it's literally everything that we put out into the media, or not even just us, but we act as media critics too, which is kind of cool. Everything that we post on social media. And again, it can't be considered on. That's just the one thing that stood out to me this week. I keep repeating it because it's just like it's so true. It can't be considered honest if all the information isn't there. And when the media doesn't have, obviously media has to be accurate, or if you're putting it on the news or newspaper, whatever, it has to be considered accurate. But it can be manipulated and twisted, and headlines can be manipulated to make it more appealing to the public eye, and that's exactly what public relations is. Is how are we going to get this message out to a group of people? Like so they can be interested in it, which is really crazy to think about because it's everywhere, literally everywhere. And I think this chapter really just brought eye on like how much media literacy plays a role in not just public relations, but anything that we put out into the media. A little all over the place this week, but I just wrote down some of my favorite points that were from the chapter. PR, smart critics, stuff like that. Analyzing public relations, news. That was again the biggest thing that stood out to me was how media critics and public relations, they not necessarily twisting our minds, but manipulating us into reading a article or reading a advertisement or whatever it may be. So yeah, that was my vlog this week, a little all over the place, but overall, again, I'm really interested in media literacy, and I am really excited to do the rest of my vlogs because I want to know more about how it works. So, yeah, that was my vlog number 6.